Hey everybody, before the video gets started, I wanted to bring attention to a situation that I think really needs to have a spotlight shown on it. In my last video, I spent a small moment talking about another, much larger channel on YouTube called Totally Not Mark. Recently, he made a statement bringing attention to the fact that YouTube had been failing him and another company had been attacking his channel and had gotten over 150 videos taken down. I know it might seem kind of odd that I'm bringing attention to this because 1, he's a totally different, much larger channel than mine, and 2, he really doesn't have anything to do with what I talk about, which is tabletop games. However, given the fact that I just cited one of his videos and one of my own, and the fact that he has been a huge inspiration to me in the past, I really wanted to try and bring any amount of support I could to him. It is no exaggeration that without Totally Not Mark, my channel would probably not be where it is today. He is a huge inspiration to me and is one of the first YouTubers I ever watched where I felt that I could do what they did and really felt inspired to try it out. This really doesn't have anything to do with my channel, but I'm going to put a link in the description so you can go watch the video where he states his case against YouTube. I wish I could do more for him, and honestly, this is the most I can do to try and support him, and I really want to try. This is an important thing that will affect all of YouTube, and if you care about channels such as mine or his, big or small, please go support this. This is an incredibly important thing, and I think it needs attention shown on it. Anyways, thanks for bearing with me on this. Back to the video. There's this fun archetype of character that a lot of media seems to show, but it seems to be really difficult to play in D&D. And unlike the previous videos I've talked about where it's difficult to play because it's hard to play at your table with the rest of the party, this one is specifically hard to do because D&D doesn't quite work with it. It doesn't mean you can't play it, but you do have to keep some things in mind. And what archetype is that? Well, it's the cunning intellect, the genius, the mastermind, Sherlock Holmes. The person who's able to just look at things and be able to identify weaknesses, to be able to find clues, and more importantly, the ability to know things nobody else does and coordinate a group around it. Now I know, the first moment I'm going to be talking about this, everyone's going to start thinking about the different rogue archetypes. There are literally rogue archetypes meant for this type of character, but they do miss out on a core aspect, and I'm going to be talking about that in a second. But before I do just want to go ahead and make it very clear. I understand that this archetype does require a lot of interaction with your DM, and it does require a lot of interaction with the world. So that does make it difficult, and the advice I'm going to give will vary from table to table because I don't know your DM. What I am talking about here is how I would handle it if I was a player and working with a DM like me. That's the best experience I've got, and that's what I'm going to go with. So with that being said, let's talk about it. So before immediately diving in, let's talk a little bit more about what this archetype is. When we watch, read, or see anything with Sherlock Holmes, we see a very cunning intellectual. We see somebody who's incredibly smart and deductive. He has the ability to look at things and put pieces together that nobody else would. The ability to look at somebody, see some scuffs on their pants, and be able to figure out where they were in the past few days. That is something very difficult to do in D&D for 2 reasons. 1, it is hard to be able to deduce those things. We're not Sherlock Holmes. And so when we're playing a character who's supposed to be super smart, it can be really hard to roleplay that because, well, we're not that smart. Your DM might describe something. Oh, hey, yeah, he does have those scuffs on your pants, but how are you supposed to know what that meant? You're not actually Sherlock Holmes. But then there's the other portion of this, the DM describing it. If the DM doesn't describe something, you don't see it, because that's not how D&D works. It is imaginary, it is all in our heads, it is a game of narration, and so we can't look around the room and see all the clues. We can't see everything, we can't investigate ourselves, we have to rely on the DM to be able to share that information. And that really is the core part of playing this type of character, is communicating with your DM, and being on the same level with them of the type of character you want to play. Because the DM is not just going to give you all the information. They're running the game, they're not going to just focus and be like, oh yeah, you asked about this, here's the entire mystery revealed. They're going to give you clues, and you have to be able to put those clues together, which can be incredibly difficult. So what is it you're going to do about that? How are you going to be able to handle that? Well, the first thing you do is you talk with your DM and you let them know the type of character you want to play. That's the first part. They're not going to be able to be invested and help you out with that if you have not communicated that beforehand, but once you've done that, the key part of this is asking more questions. Let me go ahead and propose an example to you. Say your DM is describing you walking into a dungeon. It's dark and damp, there are scratches all along the walls and catacombs lining the entire area. There's brief torch lights all around and you can see them lit down the hall, but it's clear nobody has been here for centuries. The first clue you might notice is the fact that the torches are lit in a place where no one has been for a long time. Alright, so either they are magical or someone did come through here recently. You would ask the DM, can I investigate the torches? But you need to go further than that. You need to tell the DM, I would like to investigate the torches because you said no one has been here for centuries, but they're lit. I'd like to find out why that is. That helps the DM know what you're doing, and he knows that you are playing an intellectual character, somebody who's supposed to be very smart and able to put together the pieces, so they will help with that. Have you make a roll your investigation check, look and say, well, you would know this and this and this, and because this is what you're looking for, you figure out that these torches are magical and have been lit here for a while. However, that magic was only recently activated, which means somebody else had come through here. The DM's not giving too much away because you didn't just ask them, hey, has somebody been here recently? You asked specific questions. You let them know what you were doing to try and find the information. And that's the real core important part. For myself as a DM, I'm not just going to give answers. However, if a player is going to come to me and say, I want to kind of look around the seams of the wall to find any hidden areas. Well, shoot, that's incredibly helpful. I know that they're looking for hidden areas and I know how they're going to do it. So I'm going to help them with that.
I'm reading steel reinforcement and an air current.
Please be a secret door, please be a secret door, please be a secret door.
Yay. But I also have some players who aren't so confident in the things that they can do. They don't have this experience, they're not a Tomb Raider, and so they'll ask me, DM, I would like to try and find secret areas along these walls. How could my player do that? How would my character know to do that? And I could give them options. Well, you could run your knife along the wall, you could start searching for different panels. Give them options, but let them figure it out. Let them make the choice of how they're going to do that. But as long as I know specifically what they're doing and what their end goal is, and that is important, the end goal, we can work together. But that's not the only part of this cunning intellectual that a lot of people like to play. The other part is the mastermind part, the ability to manipulate your party into the most effective formation possible, to be able to know their strengths and move them forward. Oftentimes, strategist is a huge portion of this type of archetype. That's what people want to do. They want to know the strengths of people and be able to formulate an awesome plan to get things through. If you don't actually have that intellect of this character with a 20 intelligence, well, how do you do that? And this is where it's important to work with your party and the DM, and again, ask specific questions. A DM wants you to succeed. A DM wants you to get through things, but in the most creative and fun way possible. That's the DM's job. And so if you're just looking at the situation like a heist where you have to steal a diamond, you're not going to look at the DM and say, do I know the best way to steal the diamond? What do I need to do? They're not going to give you those answers. However, if you do say, looking across my party, I know that we need to sneak in and the best thing we need to do is a distraction. Would my character know if any particular trait of one of my party members would particularly distract these kinds of guards? That is something the DM can then have you roll for and help answer questions for. Now I know, because I usually do, I will get comments in this video saying that I am being too pandering. I am letting my players do too much. I can't just give them the information. They need to be smart enough to do this. I don't understand why people take that adversarial stance. I don't understand why they are so offended with helping the players out. Because the ultimate point of D&D is to have a fun and engaging story. If I'm not helping them get the information to be able to play out their character fantasies, I'm not doing a good job of helping them enjoy doing that. And so this is not going to stop people from commenting that. I know that, but consider, it's important for your players to feel that their characters are powerful in the ways that they design them to be. Is it a smart intellectual character? Then they should be smart, intellectual, and factual. Now, does that mean that they're always going to succeed in those things? No. But they should be good at it and be able to succeed for the most part. If they always succeed, it's not so fun, but they should have the ability to. So ask those questions of your DM, work with the other party members, and figure out the specifics of where it is that you're trying to go. And if you can do all of that, I can guarantee you'll have a great time at your table. So go out into the world, make it your own, you beautiful bastards. Don't forget to have a great day, and never forget to play your role. Thank you. Come again.